stop what you're doing. Because this is not just another Bitcoin price pump. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Trump's Bitcoin game plan is leaked, and it could make the US a Bitcoin superpower. Think. A strategic Bitcoin reserve, the end of ChokePoint 2.0's hostile Bitcoin policies, and Bitcoin on track for $100 trillion market cap. We have a massive show today. This is the most bullish news of the decade. Let's break it down, shall we? Send it! Let's start with the backdrop. Inflation is running wild at 2.9%, and the deficit has ballooned to $3 trillion annually. Think about that. They're spending 66% of all income taxes collected just to cover the interest on the debt. In case you didn't know, that isn't sustainable. But while fiat is crumbling, Bitcoin is shining. We just hit 99K this morning, and here's why that matters. Bitcoin thrives in chaos. It's a life raft when the ship is sinking. And right now, the ship isn't sinking, it's on fire.
If they could set the inflation target today, and you've heard me say this for the last 3 years, looking at the structural element of this economy, it would be in the 2.5% to 3%. It would be a range, 2.5% to 3%.
There's a lot of people that are nodding with you because we can deflate our way out of some of this debt. But the difference between 2% and 3% compounded for the dollar is devastating. And I don't know, for you to just blow it off is a little weird. I mean, there's a reason they want 2%. Anyone can move goalposts. If you compound 3%, that's 50% higher than 2%.
Do you know where 2% comes from?
No, but 2% comes from... 3% it would make all of us feel awful in 10 years.
2% comes from the Bank of New Zealand in the early 90s.
It seems like a good number to me.
But it's an arbitrary number.
I know. Well, 5 is an arbitrary number. If you want to deflate 36 trillion, let's go to 10 then.
I don't want to pull the rug from under U.S. economic exceptionalism. I think we are outpacing the rest of the world.
We're starting to at 3%.
I think we are investing in the economies of tomorrow, in the growth drivers of tomorrow.
The government?
No, the private sector, everything else. Well, if you push this economy into recession...
The private sector is not what causes the inflation.
Joe, if you push this economy into recession, you will not just lose current standard of living, you will lose future standard of living. We are in a very good position.
3% loses the future standard of living. That's the problem.
2.5% to 3% is what I said. You went immediately to 3%.
Well, if you say 3 at the high end,
and as long as
okay with it.
As long as inflation expectations are stable, you can navigate.
You better buy some Bitcoin, Mohammed.
He did.
Protect again.
He did back in the day.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Get on it, Mohammed. And Trump's team is laser focused on dismantling Operation ChokePoint 2.0, a policy designed to choke out the Bitcoin industry by cutting off banking access. Think about what that means. No more debanking for Bitcoin businesses. No more restrictions on innovation. This is the green light for the US-based companies to dive into Bitcoin without fear of regulatory roadblocks.
So a lot of this started about 15 years ago with this thing called Operation ChokePoint. Under the Obama administration, they started to debank legal marijuana businesses, escort businesses, and then gun shops, just like your gun manufacturers, and just like you're done, you're out of the banking system. And then this administration extended that concept to apply it to tech founders, crypto founders, and then just generally political opponents. And it's hit the tech world like we've had like 30 founders debanked in the last 4 years.
Real?
Yeah. It's been a big recurring pattern.
30.
We can't live in a world where somebody starts a company that's a completely legal thing and then they literally get sanctioned. There's also the civil asset forfeiture side of it, which is the other side, and that doesn't happen to us, but that happens to people in a lot of places now who get arrested, and all of a sudden, the state takes their money. It's political power being administered not through legislation, right? So there's no defined law that covers this. It's not through regulation, right? There's nothing you can't go sue a regulator to fix this. It's not through any kind of court judgment. It's just raw power. It's just raw administrative power. It's the government or politicians just deciding that things are going to be a certain way, and then they just apply pressure until they get it.
Mark Andreessen exposed it all on Joe Rogan, and now Trump's team, led by Bitcoin and crypto advocates, is ready to fix it. This isn't just bullish. It's transformative. Michael Saylor took MicroStrategy from a failing software company to a multi-billion-dollar Bitcoin juggernaut. His strategy? Ditch fiat reserves for Bitcoin. Now imagine Trump doing the same for America, converting part of that nearly $37 trillion national debt into Bitcoin reserves.
Look, first of all, it's going up by a factor of 10 whether they fix any of this stuff. Just because gold is broken and Bitcoin's going to replace gold, and now everybody in the universe knows they need a non-sovereign store of value in the form of a bearer instrument. So it's going to grind up to replace gold. It'll go to $500,000 a coin, regardless of whether they fix these things. But there are three things that are massive catalysts that cause an acceleration. And I don't think that those three things don't take us to 500,000. They take us to 5 million a coin. Those three things are a spot ETF, where someone can go ahead and buy $100 million of Bitcoin by a security, an ETF security. I think that's one. Two is your bank is going to custody it for you and lend against it. And three is I can mark it up or mark it down on my balance sheet based on fair value. It'll be pari passu to the way I'd handle Apple stock, or at least that good. If you have property with fair value accounting, by the way, it becomes pari passu to the way you'd handle treasury bonds on a treasury balance sheet. Treasuries are better than stocks because treasury is property, whereas a stock is a security, and you're capped out at 40% of your balance sheet as security. So it would be a major, major breakthrough if you saw any of those three things. Those three things are highly likely to happen. I don't know if they happen in 36 months or 24 months or 12 months, but I would be shocked if it's more than 36 months. I hope it doesn't happen in 12 months because my view is the longer it takes, the more progressive the grind, the more time I have to buy more of it.
Saylor outlined three catalysts for Bitcoin hitting 5 million. Spot ETFs, fair value accounting, and repealing SAB 121. The first two, check them off, they're done, and Trump plans to repeal SAB 121 so banks and corporations can start stacking Bitcoin without treating it as a liability. Translation? The floodgates open, institutional money pours in. Bitcoin goes from 98K to 500K, then a million. And faster than you can say, hyper-Bitcoinization.
The Omega candle is a 100K green candle on the daily, and this would happen after a God candle, which is 10K. But I figure with the advent of the ETFs and this massive change in the macroeconomic landscape, it's time for a bigger candle to measure. And I like the term Omega because you can quantify it, like a 2 Omega day would be a 200K candle, kind of like you measure earthquakes on the Richter scale, right? I think we both agree that 1 million is an inevitability for Bitcoin, just simply because we're printing and have printed so much money, debt is through the roof. So we're going to hit some point at which either they lower the rates or the money dies. But I mean, both are going to mean Bitcoin's going to go up. So it doesn't really matter. It's an eventuality because the Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin fiat price is a factor of a fiat clown world. And there is no max for fiat clown world. There's just burr.
Let's zoom out. Analysts are predicting Bitcoin could surpass the entire global real estate market by 2045. That's $1.71 quadrillion. Yes, quadrillion. And the driving force? Adoption by nation states, corporations, and individuals like us. If you think that's crazy, remember this. 5 years ago, people laughed at $1 million Bitcoin predictions. And today, $1 million Bitcoin is just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Bitcoin and crypto will skyrocket like never before, even beyond your expectations, and you are the people that are doing it. As we stop the war on crypto, we will immediately, and we'll do this very quickly, begin to build our economy, because when America is prospering, Bitcoin is soaring, and it'll go up with it.
Trump's Bitcoin reserve plan accelerates this timeline. By making Bitcoin a strategic reserve asset, he's positioning the U.S. as the leader in the next global financial system. We're going to show you why we're not just watching history. We're living in it. But before the big finish, look at our likes.
Come on. Come on.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pep by sharing today's show while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors. Because if you're thinking, how do I secure my slice of this $100 trillion future? You're going to want to check out the Masters of Bitcoin Self-Custody, your IT team in the Bitcoin world, the Bitcoin way. You're looking to learn how to Bitcoin, how to properly secure your Bitcoin? You might want to head on over to the newly revamped Bitcoin Way website, where you can begin your road to Bitcoin sovereignty today. If you're looking to schedule a free 30-minute consultation, go ahead and use that link below in the show notes. What an interesting number. But Polymarket users are betting there's a 21% chance Trump will name drop Bitcoin during his inauguration speech. If he does, it's game over for the Bears. The FOMO will be unprecedented.
It was a pretty incredible first year for IBIT, obviously record setting on a lot of dimensions, including inflows and asset accumulation. And as we come into year 2 now, we're focused on a lot of the same stuff that we were in year 1, which is really being a valuable resource and an education partner to many of our clients. As we've talked about in the past on this show, we're still quite early days in terms of the adoption of the wealth advisory and the institutional segment. And so we're spending a lot of time engaging with those types of clients.
And let's not forget, BlackRock is calling this the early stage of Bitcoin adoption. Combine that with nation state accumulation, like Malaysia studying Bitcoin as a financial revamp, and we're looking at the most bullish setup in Bitcoin's history. Bitcoin supply is running out. This cycle is unlike any other, and reports of Trump owning a significant amount of Bitcoin and institutions like BlackRock scooping up every Satoshi they can get their hands on, well, that means the average person won't be able to afford one Bitcoin. This is what we call a supply shock, and it's coming faster than anyone expects. If you don't have your Bitcoin secured now, you're playing a dangerous game.
Trump told me before all of this went down that, he owns a significant amount of Bitcoin. I'm not going to disclose the number that he told me, but he doesn't manage his money himself directly, but that he had a significant position, even at that time, and the price of Bitcoin's gone up a lot since. Bitcoin changes the dynamic where what's good for Bitcoin is good for all of us, and what's good for Bitcoin is the fundamental ideas of freedom. So it's like advancing freedom is what's good for your financial interests.
Everybody thinks they can buy Bitcoin till the supply shock hits. Let's tie it all together. In 5 days, Trump takes office. Me and Nico will be attending. Hopefully we can get some cool footage for you guys, and stay tuned for that next week. But my friends, institutions are piling in, and Bitcoin's market cap is on track to flip gold. We're not just watching history, we're living it. Before we wrap, check out the hash rate. This is your leading indicator for what's coming. And if you want to see where the next big ideas in Bitcoin mining will be born, you do not want to miss Mining Disrupt 2025. It's the biggest Bitcoin mining conference on the planet, and it's coming to Fort Lauderdale, March 25th through the 27th. Get your tickets today and join thousands of Bitcoin mining professionals and enthusiasts from around the globe for an electrifying experience at Mining Disrupt. See the latest cutting-edge hardware, products, and services that are revolutionizing the Bitcoin mining industry. And for over half a decade, Mining Disrupt has been the premier conference exclusively dedicated to Bitcoin mining. Be part of the future and join the revolution that's reshaping the world of Bitcoin mining. Don't miss out. Head over to miningdisrupt.com and get your tickets today. Use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off. The Simply Bitcoin news desk will be on site, and I'll be holding it down with Nico and Opti, and we hope to see you there. Here's the bottom line. Trump's Bitcoin game plan isn't just bullish. It's a paradigm shift. It's America embracing the future of money. And if you're still on the sidelines, you got to ask yourself, what are you waiting for? Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp by sharing this video with Peter Schiff. And comment below, will Trump's plan send Bitcoin to 100 trillion or beyond? Stay tuned in, my friends. The best is yet to come. Catch you all tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.